Hello, and welcome back to Code Your English, the channel where we learn to grow in language and in life. I'm so glad you're here with me today. Really, thank you. Whether this is your first time listening or you've been with us for a while, I appreciate that you've chosen to spend a little time with me. And not just for English, but for something deeper, for growth, for self-discovery, for that small voice inside you that says, I'm ready for more. Today's episode is called Wake Your Power, and it's about something powerful that lives inside you right now, even if you don't feel it. Even if life has been busy, confusing, stressful, or just full of distractions, the truth is, your potential is still there. It may be quiet, it may be sleeping, but it's waiting, patiently, for you to wake it up. So, what does that actually mean? To wake your power means to see the strength inside yourself that maybe you've ignored. It means to stop hiding your gifts, the parts of you that are brave, creative, curious, or kind. It's about finding the energy, the courage, and the focus to move forward. Not in someone else's direction, but in your own. Tapping into hidden potential means recognizing that you are capable of more than what you've allowed yourself to believe. And once you start seeing it, really seeing it, life begins to change. Now, on this podcast, we do something special. Yes, we talk about life, motivation, fear, growth, and goals. But we also talk about language. This episode is designed for upper intermediate English learners, just like you, who want to get better at listening, speaking, and thinking in English, while also learning how to grow as a person. So as you listen today, you'll hear natural English, with common phrases, useful expressions, and some real emotional energy. You'll hear different types of sentences, some short and clear, some longer and more complex, to help you understand real spoken English the way people actually use it in life. But more importantly, I want you to feel something today. I want you to remember that your journey is not finished, in English or in life. Because deep inside you, there's a version of yourself that's stronger, wiser, more confident, more focused, and that version of you is waiting to be seen. So, let me ask you something. Take a breath. Close your eyes for just a second. And answer this question in your heart. Have you ever felt like there's more inside you, just waiting to come out? If your answer is yes, even a quiet yes, then this episode is for you. Let's begin. The silent power within you. Let's talk about something that most of us carry inside, but don't often talk about. It's something that's real, something that's powerful, and something that is probably sleeping inside you right now. It's your untapped potential. What does that mean, really? It means there are parts of you, abilities, talents, strengths, even dreams, that haven't been used yet. They're there, but quiet, hidden, like a seed under the soil, waiting for the right time, the right conditions, the right belief to grow. Or like a sleeping giant, calm on the outside, but full of strength and energy inside. The thing is, just because we don't see something doesn't mean it's not there. Sometimes life makes us forget that we have this silent power inside. We go through the same routines. We work, study, do what's expected. And slowly, our bigger dreams, the ones that made our heart beat faster when we were younger, start to feel far away. We tell ourselves we're not ready. We compare ourselves to others. We say things like, maybe later, or it's too hard, or even, I'm just not that kind of person. And that's how our potential stays hidden. Not because it's not there, but because we've been ignoring it. I remember a time when I wanted to do something completely new, something I had never tried before. I wanted to speak in public, to share my ideas, to inspire others, to be heard. But just the thought of standing in front of a crowd made my hands sweat. My heart would race. I told myself I wasn't good enough. I thought, I'm not that kind of person. I don't have what it takes. I believed those thoughts for a long time. I avoided situations where I had to speak. I stayed quiet, even when I had something important to say. And during all that time, my potential stayed asleep. Not because it wasn't real, but because I didn't believe in it. But the truth is, deep inside me, that power was always there. It was silent, but alive. And once I decided to stop ignoring it, once I started practicing, even just a little, I began to change. Was it easy? But was it possible? Absolutely. That's the thing about potential. It doesn't disappear. It waits. And maybe, just maybe, it's waiting inside you too. Think about something you've always wanted to do. Maybe it's learning to speak fluent English. Maybe it's starting a business, writing a book, teaching, helping others, or even changing your lifestyle. Now ask yourself, why haven't you done it yet? Is it because you don't have the skills? Or is it because something inside you said, I'm not ready, or that's not who I am? You see, so many of us let fear or self-doubt make the decision for us. We hide from challenges because we don't want to fail. But here's the truth. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every time you try, every time you make a small move forward, you wake a little more of your power. And the more you wake it, the more you feel it. Let me tell you, the strongest people you know, the most successful people, the most inspiring voices, they didn't start strong. They started scared. They started confused. They started with doubt, just like you and me. The difference is, they didn't stop there. They looked inside and said, there's something more in me, and I'm going to find it. So today, I want to invite you to ask yourself a simple but powerful question. What part of you have you been ignoring? Is it your creativity, your confidence, your discipline, your voice? And what would happen if you stopped ignoring it and started growing it, even just a little? You don't have to change everything in one day. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to begin. Because your potential is not gone. It's just sleeping. And you, yes, you, have the power to wake it up. What holds us back? So now that we've talked about the silent power inside you, your hidden potential, let's ask an important question. Why don't we use it? If we have so much potential inside, why does it stay quiet for so long? Why do so many people go through life without really using their talents, their ideas, or their voice? The answer often comes down to what's going on inside us. You see, most of the time, it's not the world that stops us. It's our own mind. We face something called internal blockers. These are thoughts, beliefs, or feelings that quietly hold us back. And the most common ones? They have names: fear, perfectionism, and self-doubt. Let's start with fear. Fear is natural. It's part of being human. Fear keeps us safe from danger. But sometimes, it also keeps us stuck. We're afraid of failure, afraid of looking stupid, afraid of what people might say. And sometimes, we're even afraid of success. Because success brings responsibility, change, and hard work. Fear can make you stay in the same place, even when you know you want more. Have you ever stopped before even starting, just because you thought you weren't ready? I think we all have. Next, there's perfectionism. This is the belief that everything must be perfect, that if it's not 100% right, then it's not good enough. And here's the problem. Perfectionism sounds smart. It sounds responsible. But in reality, it's just another form of fear. It tells you, don't try until you're sure you won't make mistakes. But let me ask you, when are we ever 100% sure? If we wait for perfect, we never begin. And the result? We don't grow, because we don't try. Then there's self-doubt, that quiet voice in your head that whispers, you can't do this. It tells you that you're not good enough, not smart enough, not ready. And when you hear that voice again and again, you start to believe it. These beliefs are called limiting beliefs. They limit your growth. They limit your actions. They limit your life. But here's the truth. Most of them aren't even real. They're stories we tell ourselves, usually based on past mistakes, other people's opinions, or fear of rejection. And when you add all these things together, fear, perfectionism, and self-doubt, you create something else, the comfort zone. The comfort zone is that place in life where everything feels safe, familiar, and easy. It's not a bad place, but it's not a place for growth. Inside your comfort zone, nothing changes. You repeat the same habits, think the same thoughts, follow the same path. And sure, you may feel safe, but deep inside, you know something's missing. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine someone who wants to improve their English speaking skills. They listen to podcasts, study vocabulary, read grammar books, but they never speak out loud. Why? Not because they can't, but because they're afraid to make mistakes. They want to sound perfect. They doubt their accent, their grammar, their words, so they stay silent. They stay in the comfort zone, and their speaking never improves. But if that person just started speaking a little bit every day, they would grow faster than they imagined. Now, let's make this personal. Think about your own life. Think about something you haven't done yet. Not because you don't want to, but because something inside you is holding you back. Is it a new job? A new skill? A creative project? A conversation you've been avoiding? Ask yourself, what's really stopping me? Is it danger? Or just fear? Am I waiting for perfect? Or can I start now, imperfectly? You are not alone in this. We all have these blocks. Even the most confident people you know feel fear. Even successful people face self-doubt. The difference is, they move through it. They don't let those voices be the final decision. They hear the fear, the perfectionism, the doubt, and then they take a breath, and they act anyway. That's what waking your power is really about. Not becoming fearless, but becoming braver than your fear. Not being perfect, but being willing to try. Not knowing everything, but trusting that you'll learn along the way. You're not stuck. You're not broken. You're just waiting. And maybe today is the day you stop waiting. The turning point, wake-up moments. Sometimes we move through life like we're on autopilot. We wake up, go to work or school, do what we're supposed to do, and go to bed. Days pass, then weeks, then months. We keep going, but we're not really living. We're surviving, not growing. We tell ourselves that we'll change later, that we'll try someday. But life doesn't wait for someday. And then something happens. A moment, a wake-up call. It could be a failure, a big mistake, a personal loss, or even just a conversation. Someone says something that hits you deep. Something changes inside you, and suddenly you realize, I can't stay the same anymore. These are what I call turning points. They don't always feel good in the moment. In fact, they often come with pain, confusion, or disappointment. But looking back, we can see that these were the moments that shook us awake. They pushed us out of our comfort zone and forced us to grow. Let me give you an example from someone you probably know, J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before she became one of the most successful writers in the world, she went through one of the darkest periods in her life. She was a single mother, living in poverty, struggling with depression, and writing her first book in cafes because she couldn't afford heating at home. She had no money, no job, and no clear future. But she had one thing, a deep desire to share her story. That moment of struggle became her turning point. She decided she had nothing to lose, and she sent her book to publishers. She was rejected many times, but she didn't give up. And now, we all know what happened next. Her pain became her power. That's what a turning point does. It shows you what matters. It wakes you up from your sleep and says, "It's time." Sometimes, the wake-up call comes in a different way. It could be something someone says to you. I remember one time I was talking to a friend about a dream I had. I told him I wanted to start something new. A podcast, in fact. But then I quickly followed with excuses. I don't have time. My voice isn't good. I don't know enough. My friend looked at me and said, "You've been saying the same thing for years. When are you going to stop talking and just start?" That hit me hard. It wasn't rude. It was real. And it was exactly what I needed to hear. In that moment, I realized I was waiting for everything to be perfect. I was letting fear and doubt lead my life. That conversation became my turning point. So, let me ask you now. Think about your own life. What moment in your life shook you awake? Was it a failure that taught you a lesson? Was it a loss that showed you what really matters? Was it a challenge that forced you to grow? Or maybe it was just a quiet moment alone, when you realized you were tired of being stuck. Whatever it was, don't ignore it. Don't forget it. Turning points are gifts. They remind us that change is possible, that we are not trees. We are not meant to stay in the same place forever. We are made to move, to grow, to become. And even if you haven't had a clear turning point yet, maybe this is it. Maybe this episode, these words, this moment, is the start of your wake-up call. Because the truth is, you don't need a perfect plan. You need a powerful reason. A reason to start. A reason to believe. A reason to keep going, even when it's hard. And often, that reason comes from a moment that changes you. So, I'll ask you again. What moment in your life shook you awake? Think about it. Feel it. And when you're ready, use it. Let it be the beginning of something real. Mindset shift. You don't have to be perfect. Let's talk about something that quietly stops millions of people from growing. The need to be perfect. Perfectionism sounds like a good thing at first. Who doesn't want to do their best, right? But here's the problem. Perfectionism doesn't help you grow. It keeps you stuck. When you always feel like something has to be 100% correct before you start, or before you show it to the world, you end up doing one thing again and again, waiting. Perfectionism is the voice in your head that says, "This isn't good enough yet." It tells you, "You can't speak English until you sound like a native speaker." Or, "You shouldn't start that project until you've studied every little detail." It sounds responsible. But really, it's just another way that fear hides behind nice words. The truth is, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to begin. And connected to perfectionism is another trap: comparison. We look at other people and think, wow, they're so much better than me. Or, they're already successful. So what's the point of me trying? We scroll through social media, see someone else speaking confidently or achieving something, and we feel small. We think we're too late. But remember this: you're not in a race with anyone else. You're only in a journey with yourself. One of the biggest lessons I ever learned was from a personal failure. And yes, I'll be honest with you, it was public and embarrassing. A few years ago, I was invited to speak at a local event. I was excited, but also nervous. I wanted every word to be perfect. I practiced again and again, writing and rewriting my speech. But when the moment came, I froze. I forgot a part of my talk, my voice shook, and my mind went blank. I felt embarrassed. I felt like I failed. Afterwards, I didn't want to talk about it. I wanted to hide. But something surprising happened. A few people from the audience came up to me and said, "Thank you for being real." One person said, "You inspired me, not because you were perfect, but because you were honest." That changed me. I realized I didn't need to be perfect to make an impact. I just needed to show up and be authentic. That experience taught me an important truth: done is better than perfect. You grow through what you go through. Let those words stay with you. Because real progress doesn't come from perfect moments. It comes from showing up every day, even when it's messy, even when it's not smooth. Especially then. Think about learning English. If you only speak when everything sounds correct in your head, you'll never speak at all. But if you allow yourself to speak with mistakes, you'll grow faster than you ever thought possible. The same goes for any skill, any goal, any dream. Growth comes from consistency, not perfection. What matters most is not how amazing you are today. It's whether you keep showing up tomorrow. It's whether you take one more step forward, even if you fall sometimes, even if you fail in front of others. So let me ask you this: have you been waiting to feel ready before starting? Have you been comparing your beginning to someone else's middle? Are you letting the fear of not being perfect stop you from becoming better? If the answer is yes, that's okay. You're not alone. We all fall into that trap sometimes, but now that you see it, you can choose something different. You can choose progress over perfection. You can choose to keep going, even if it's slow. You can choose to learn out loud, in public, and get stronger in the process. Remember, you don't have to be perfect to begin. But you do have to begin to get better. So take the pressure off. Let yourself be a beginner. Let yourself make mistakes. Let yourself learn in the real world. Speak up, try things, fail forward, and watch how fast you grow. Perfection isn't the goal. Progress is. Start small. Start now. If there's one secret to success, to change, and to waking your power, it's this: start small. Start now. We often think that big changes require big actions. We believe we need to make a huge decision, take a giant leap, or wait for the perfect moment. But the truth is, progress is not about making one big move. It's about taking small steps, over and over again. Think about a baby learning to walk. Do they start by running across the room? No. They take small, wobbly steps. They fall. They get up. They try again. And each time, they get a little stronger. That's why we call them baby steps. They may seem small, but they are the beginning of everything. You can apply this same idea to your life and to your English learning. Let's say you want to improve your vocabulary. You don't need to learn 100 words in one day. That's not realistic. But you can learn 5 new words each day. In 1 week, that's 35 words. In 1 month, it's over 140. These little steps create a snowball effect. A small thing that grows bigger and faster over time. The more you learn, the more confident you feel. The more confident you feel, the more you practice. And the more you practice, the more you grow. Or maybe you're trying to improve your speaking skills. You don't need to give a speech in front of a crowd right away. You don't even need a partner. You can begin by speaking just 1 minute a day, out loud, in front of a mirror, or even recording yourself on your phone. 1 minute today, 1 minute tomorrow. Over time, 1 minute becomes 5. 5 becomes 10. And suddenly, you're comfortable speaking in real situations. This is what we mean by one foot in front of the other. It's a simple phrase, but a powerful one. It means that you keep moving forward, step by step, without rushing, without panicking, without expecting to be perfect. You focus only on the next small step. That's it. The problem is, we often tell ourselves that small actions don't matter. We think, 5 minutes isn't enough, or 1 word a day won't change anything. But that kind of thinking is what keeps us stuck. In reality, small actions build habits, and habits shape your future. Let me share something personal with you. When I first started podcasting, I was overwhelmed. I didn't know how to write a full script, how to edit audio, or how to publish an episode. I kept thinking, I need to know everything before I start. But that mindset was blocking me. One day, I changed my approach. I said, today, I'll just write the first paragraph. That was it. 1 paragraph. The next day, I wrote the second one. Then I recorded just the intro. Each step was small, but each step moved me forward. And after some time, I had a full episode ready to share with the world. That's how progress works. You don't climb the whole mountain in one day. You climb it step by step. You don't need to be fast. You just need to be moving. So I want to ask you something. Really ask you to reflect on this. What's one small thing you can do today that future you will thank you for? Think about it. Don't choose something big. Choose something possible. Something real. Maybe it's writing 1 sentence in English. Maybe it's watching a 5-minute video and repeating what you hear. Maybe it's saying just 1 sentence to yourself out loud in English. Or maybe it's something in your personal life. Sending a message you've been avoiding, organizing your workspace, taking a 10-minute walk. Whatever it is, do it. Today, not tomorrow, not someday. Start small, and start now. Because every big dream begins the same way, with 1 tiny, honest step. So take that step, and keep walking. Consistency over motivation. We often wait for motivation to come before we take action. We think we need to feel ready or inspired. But the truth is, motivation is not always there. It comes and goes like the weather. One day we feel excited and full of energy. The next day, we feel tired or distracted. If we only take action when we feel motivated, we will not be consistent. That's why routines and habits are more powerful than motivation. Motivation may start the engine, but consistency keeps it running. Think about someone who wants to get fit. On January 1st, they feel motivated and join the gym. They go for a few days, maybe even a few weeks. But soon, the motivation fades. Life gets busy, or they feel tired. They stop going, and the goal is forgotten. Now, compare that to someone who decides to do just 10 minutes of exercise every day, even when they don't feel like it. Over time, those small daily actions build strength and discipline. They form a habit, and that habit becomes part of their life. It's the same with learning English, or anything else. Maybe you want to improve your speaking skills. At first, you feel excited. You listen to podcasts, watch videos, and try speaking. But then, you have a bad day. You make a mistake. You feel embarrassed or unsure. If you stop there, you lose your rhythm. But if you keep going, even just for 5 or 10 minutes a day, you will grow. Slowly, step by step, your confidence and skills will improve. This is where habits come in. Habits are like autopilot. When something becomes a habit, you don't have to think about it. You just do it. Brushing your teeth is a habit. You don't feel excited about it, but you still do it every day. If you can build a similar habit for your learning or personal goals, you won't need motivation all the time. You'll just show up and do the work. That's where real progress comes from. There's a great idiom that says, "You don't need to be great to start, but you need to start to be great." This means you don't have to be perfect or amazing from day one. You just need to begin, and then keep going, day by day. One foot in front of the other. That's how great things happen. So ask yourself, can you commit to something small but regular? Maybe 10 minutes of practice a day, or writing a few lines in English, or listening to one short podcast. Don't wait for motivation to strike like lightning. Create a system, build a habit, and let your routine guide you, even on the days when motivation is missing. In the end, it's not about how fast you go. It's about how often you show up. That's the power of consistency. Your hidden power is needed. Sometimes we forget how powerful we really are. We look at others, people who are more successful, more confident, or more experienced, and we start to believe that we are not good enough. We say things like, "I'm just an ordinary person," or "Who would listen to me?" But the truth is, each of us has something special inside, a gift, a strength, a hidden power. And that power is not just for you, it's for others too. You may not even see your own potential clearly yet. Maybe you're still learning, still growing, still figuring things out. That's okay. Everyone starts somewhere. But don't let your doubts stop you. There are people out there, maybe your friends, your family, or even strangers, who can be helped, inspired, or touched by what you have inside. Maybe it's your story. Maybe it's your energy. Maybe it's your kindness, your ideas, or your courage. Whatever it is, it matters. Think of it this way. If you don't use your hidden power, the world misses something important. It's like having a light, but keeping it covered. The light can't help anyone if it's never turned on. Someone out there is waiting for you to wake your power. Maybe they are going through a hard time and need your support. Maybe they feel lost and need your example. Or maybe they just need to know that they are not alone. And your words, your journey, or your strength can give them hope. We often think, when I'm more confident, then I'll speak up. Or, when I'm perfect, then I'll share my ideas. But the world doesn't need perfect people. It needs real people. People who are willing to try, to grow, and to show up even when they feel afraid. Your hidden power doesn't have to be big or dramatic. It could be the way you listen, the way you speak with honesty, the way you help one person feel seen or heard. Using your gifts creates real impact, not just in your life, but in the lives of others. When you take one step forward, it encourages someone else to do the same. When you learn something and share it, it helps others grow. When you show courage, it gives others permission to be brave too. That's how energy spreads. That's how change begins. One person at a time. So, take a moment now and ask yourself, what is one small power I have that I haven't used fully yet? What is one thing I can do to share it with the world, even in a small way? It might be helping someone learn, telling your story, creating something useful, or simply being a light in someone's dark moment. Your potential is not just for you. It's also a gift to others. Remember, you don't need to wait until you feel ready. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing. Willing to show up, to learn, to grow, and to shine. Because the world needs what you have. And someone, somewhere, is waiting for you to believe in yourself and wake your power. Let's bring everything together now. As we come to the end of this episode, take a moment to pause and reflect on what you've heard. Today, we explored some very important ideas that can help you grow, not just in your English learning journey, but in your personal life as well. From understanding how your phone shapes your thoughts, to discovering your hidden power, we walked through the steps of awareness, action, and inner strength. These are not just podcast topics, they are real steps you can take in your everyday life. So, let's recap the key messages. First, we talked about how your phone, and technology in general, affects your thinking. It gives you comfort, information, and distraction, but it can also limit your deep thinking. That's why it's important to become more conscious about how and when you use it. Then, we explored the idea that your brain learns through patterns. It gets used to certain ways of thinking and acting. These mental habits can either help you grow or keep you stuck. The good news is that you can choose to create new habits, even if it's hard in the beginning. We also looked at wake-up moments, those times in life that shake us and make us see things differently. Maybe you've had one recently, or maybe this podcast is creating one for you right now. Don't ignore those moments. They are signs. They are messages. Listen to them. And we can't forget about perfectionism. So many people wait until they feel ready or perfect to take action. But the truth is, done is better than perfect. You grow by doing, by trying, by failing, and then trying again. That's how real learning happens, in the middle of the mess. After that, we reminded you to start small and start now. Learning 5 words a day, speaking for 1 minute, or reading a short article, all of these are small, powerful steps. Don't wait for the perfect time. Take baby steps. The snowball effect will build, and you'll surprise yourself. Then we moved to consistency, the true secret of success. Motivation is like a wave. It comes and goes. But consistency builds discipline and long-term results. Just show up, even on the hard days. Keep going, even when it's not exciting. That's where growth lives. We also reminded you that your hidden power matters. You may not see it yet, but you have a gift. A way of thinking, creating, helping, or speaking that the world needs. Someone out there is waiting for you to show up, to be brave, to share your voice. Don't keep that gift inside you. So now I ask you, what's your next brave step? Maybe it's speaking English for 5 minutes today. Maybe it's turning off your phone for an hour. Maybe it's journaling your thoughts, or calling a friend to share something you learned today. Whatever it is, take 1 step today. Your future self will thank you. And one more thing. Practice speaking about today's topic. Use your voice. Summarize what you've learned. Reflect out loud. Even if no one is listening, your brain is. Your language is growing. Your confidence is building. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to this podcast. Share it with someone who might need these messages. And most importantly, take action. Listening is great, but change comes when you do something with what you've heard. Thank you for being here today. Keep learning, keep growing, and never forget, you are capable of more than you know. Until next time, take care and keep moving forward.